What's going on, people? It is Wednesday night. First Maple Leaf game of the season. I know these two that are with me tonight are just thrilled to hear that. They're both just huge hockey fans. They salivate at the thought of watching more hockey. I'll introduce them in just a second. But it's the month of October. Little thing called Halloween happens. And even though we're 1 year removed from arguably the most divisive film in the franchise, anybody who thought this franchise was going away for half a decade or 10 years thought wrong. Big time. Welcome to the stream, That Fandom Show. I'm joined tonight by Mr. Matt Whitfield. What's going on, man?
Night.
We didn't hear you. I had to unmute you. You're unmuted now. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I'm doing great. Having a great night. The Braves just lost, so even better night.
I know Tommy B's reaction to this.
What's
Sports.
Sports.
Yay, go team.
Yay, go team. Yay, go team. Yeah, so, there's a lot happening right now, and I wish I could sit here and say that we're in the seat that knows all, but, we're not. We're kind of, on this ride with the rest of you, but we still get to hear a thing or two. I showed Matt a little something earlier, and we'll see if that comes to be true, and then everybody can say we made it up later. But Matt, by the way, did you notice, and Tommy, actually, you're a bit of a gamer, that Michael Myers, something that we've talked about on this channel recently, in fact, was in fact an add-on to a video game. Michael Myers.
Was it Fortnite? They're putting everyone in that game for years now.
Yeah, it's Fortnite. Michael Myers has been added to Fortnite. I certainly...
Are you freaking kidding? Is it really Fortnite?
It's really Fortnite.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can be Michael Myers alongside Thanos and Darth Vader. There's a team for you.
I don't know, man. Everyone gets a Fortnite character. Like, I'm waiting for the Shawnee G upgrade. That's going to be coming soon. Come to you next year. You heard it here.
Okay.
Get that Tommy B playable character.
I would hope that that's not it for the video game news. We have a video up on our other channel, the Legacy of Halloween, which, by the way, is live right now. Head on over there. Subscribe. Check out the two videos that are there, and hopefully a third one tomorrow. So, I've been a little ill since basically Monday morning, Sunday night. Something, again, swept through our family and just kicked us all in the ass, and we're riding by the seat of our pants just trying to get through it. But yeah, Michael Myers is, in fact, a part of Fortnite. We did a video where we speculated maybe, just maybe, the game that's in development from Supermassive Games. They did The Quarry, for those of you that don't know, and Until Dawn. That maybe their project has been working on since late last year may, in fact, be a cinematic storytelling game like The Quarry and Until Dawn, but in the Halloween universe. And then I noticed Jimmy Champagne kind of doubled down on that. So I was more, hypothesizing what a game could look like from them. That would be my dream Halloween game. I know some people want more control over the characters. I still think realistically you get something like Friday the 13th or Texas Chainsaw. That makes the most sense budgetary-wise. But, I mean, think about it for a second, guys, before we get into the rest of the show. If you have a chance to get a cinematic storytelling game like The Quarry, like Until Dawn, like Heavy Rain, there's a bunch of other ones that are out there, to a lesser extent, like the Telltale games, a Halloween game like that, but done at the quality of The Quarry, where, you can change the story a dozen or 24 different times the more you go through it. Like the replay value of, not just getting to play through a Halloween story, but crafting your own Halloween story is something I'd be interested in. I'm just not sure a studio is going to pay for the rights to make a Halloween game and then put in the same amount of money for one game that it costs to basically make David Gordon Green's entire trilogy before marketing. You guys both game a little, I think. I know Tommy does. I don't know about Matt. Last time Matt played a game might have been Atari. But what about you guys? What kind of Halloween game do you want? Do you want a multiplayer experience or do you want a storytelling experience? Tommy?
I would absolutely roll with something that's more story based, make your own type of path sort of thing. We used to call that the telltale genre, right? They did a really good job with Walking Dead. Now that studio is of course no longer around. I think don't quote me on this. I think Microsoft has the rights to those games. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure they're free on Xbox Live.
Could be wrong. I thought I heard the studio came back. But
it doesn't look like it. I just pulled up the Wikipedia page.
I don't know. Wikipedia is the most reliable source, but
it tends to be reliable most of the time.
Oh God!
Just don't use it as an academic reference.
You make me cringe. Let me go onto Wikipedia now and put in some false information about Tommy B. It's real. It was on Wikipedia. No, I don't know if I'd be okay with it being like the Walking Dead games. They were fun games, don't get me wrong, but like they're very cheaply made. Like if you're going to go that route, I want to, see something really high quality.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, it needs to be like the Corey. I mean, there's your guide right there. Kind of go off of the design, the coloring, and all that stuff. And I think it needs to be various different plays. I mean, you could go in the story. Instead of shooting him 6 times, you can shoot him 3 times, but all in the face. I mean, stuff like that where you can, change the story, how it runs into Halloween 2, there's just, it's got to be various things you can do. You can play as Loomis, you can play as Michael, you can play as Lori, you can play as Jamie, or you can play as Billy. Give Billy some love, But I think if it's done right, it could be a really good game. I kind of agree. I don't see them dumping the money into a movie. A game like that.
There he is. That's a Fortnite, Dean. That's Michael Myers on Fortnite. I got to say, obviously Fortnite's a very cartoony game. I think they got the mask pretty good. I don't know if I agree with just the way the rest of his appearance is, but
he's like ripped. He's got a 6-pack definitely under there.
That or a pair of coveralls, 2 sizes too small.
Yeah.
But no. So yeah, Michael Myers has been added to Fortnite. The video game stuff, we'll see if anything comes out on that front anytime soon. I suspect that might be it for now on the video game front. But there's so much we want to dive into tonight, and I don't know how long we're going to have Tommy for. So there is one thing I do want to get to first. We're going to go a little out of order tonight, so be patient. The majority of the amount of time will be spent talking about A24 making a huge play for Halloween. But I do want to talk about Daredevil rebooted. Now, Daredevil had basically finished filming, I believe, their entire, I think it was 12 episodes they were doing. 12? Was it 12 or 18? I don't know. They'd filmed a good chunk anyways of their season for Disney Plus, and they have decided that they are just going to scrap the whole thing. And I got to tell you, as a consumer of some of this content, Not that that was going to be high up on my list. I like Netflix's version of that show quite a bit. So Disney Plus was going to have a long way to go. But it worries me because Tommy and I are like heavily invested in a couple of Star Wars shows, and Star Wars falls under the same umbrella, and they can just scrap things whenever they want, regardless of where the story is going, and that's not something Star Wars fans are accustomed to. And maybe in video games, but never in the content that we get on TV and or on movies. Sham, what's going on, man? And yeah, Dean loves Fortnite. He plays Fortnite all the time. We're going to talk about a topic that Dean's going to love later. But yeah, no, like Daredevil hits reset button as Marvel overhauls its TV business. Launched during the pandemic with a playbook to shoot $150 million plus seasons with no pilots, the Disney unit is undergoing growing pains and seeing the logic of traditional TV culture. Yeah, so basically they just go on to say that they're scrapping everything they've done and starting from scratch, which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
Doesn't sound like it makes a whole lot of financial sense. You put all this work out there, you're just going to throw it all away at this point.
Yeah,
go ahead, Matt.
Maybe they had some so have they already released the first season of it?
No, but he did appear on another show.
Okay, so they
still technically affects it.
So what I'm probably thinking is that they had some test screenings and it probably tested bad. So that's probably why they're scrapping it.
Well, it's not just this project. There's going to be significant changes to other projects as well.
Right. But that 150 million, that's a lot. That's not, I mean,
it's a ton of money.
Most movies don't even get made for that much.
Yeah, it's a ton of money.
This whole issue that's at hand, the way I perceive it as just the consumer, is that the studios are getting over the honeymoon phase with streaming services having original content. They've all been doing it for quite a while now. And they're realizing, hey, we're spending all this money and we're not necessarily making back or making what we should. And now they're looking for ways to cut the costs while also making this a feasible option. This is perhaps besides the point, but a very popular, tone of the conversation I've seen outside of the realm of Disney and more just in general is, hey, this is how we got the cable, kind of, isn't it? And I think that's a thought, a fear that you have in a lot of folks' minds. It's we want our original content, but eventually the rates are going to skyrocket to such a point you might as well just go back to cable. I don't think we're going to get to that point because cable is many people still subscribe, but it's outdated. We want to watch what we want to watch when we want to watch it.
Chris is watching the best Halloween movie ever made right now on AMC. I'm jealous.
See, there you go. There you go.
Uh-oh. There I go. What I do?
There you go. I mean, is AMC just happen to be playing Halloween 4 right now?
They're playing Halloween movie. They played H2O and Resurrection and the original Halloween last night. I took a picture of Sean. I was like, "Hey, your favorite actress on TV."
I was going to say, is that a streaming app or is that like a channel? But
it's a channel.
Okay,
yeah, AMC's a channel.
Okay. But I'm sure they got their own app. I'm pretty sure I used it a few years ago.
Chris follows that up with Halloween 5 is next. You can tune out after 4 and just pretend that nothing else happens.
That's a good idea.
Probably better off that way. And actually, we're going to come back to that topic here shortly because there seems to be some revisionist history with Halloween fans that might need to be reminded that not everything they've done has been gold. Tommy, you're someone that's invested in the MCU. You watch a lot of the shows. You watched all the movies. Does it worry you when you see something like this? When you think about the fact that he's already been in, was it She-Hulk, and changes that are now made to his character in this show, going from ground up, could really affect what you've seen in that show. Like it doesn't feel like the MCU is anywhere near as tight as it once was.
Gonna come out here real quick and just throw out there, I have not yet seen the new season of Loki, so please do not spoil me, folks. We're trying to do a
Loki's
rewatch.
Yeah, same here.
Oh,
We're trying to do a rewatch of first season. We're only on like episode 4, I think.
God, how many? Has it been 3 years since the first season?
No, 2 maybe.
about 2. Yeah,
Yeah,
be the
it
going
feels
rate.
longer.
Yeah, I know. Does it bother me that things feel a lot more fluidic? I guess. Could they get rid of Daredevil? Could they change how he presents in She-Hulk to something else? I'd say, yeah. I mean, he was more of a major character in She-Hulk. Another potential problem down the line to me is what's the Hulk's kid's name? I forget about that.
You're asking the wrong person, man. I've checked
Yeah.
out on the MCU a long time ago.
Yeah, so like She-Hulk
Hulk
ends.
Junior.
All right. She-Hulk ends in a very weird way. With, Hulk, Bruce Banner, being back at the finale. And just suddenly his son is there out of nowhere. No real explanation why. The whole thing ends in a very, very abrupt, weird way. I didn't hate the show. It was very, very, very different. And not in a WandaVision different way. They took a very interesting approach with it, and that's the best thing we could say with it. There are reasons why it's not received as well as some of the other shows by the MCU fans. Now, the question you actually asked me, Sean, was, does it bother me?
Yeah, I mean, you've consumed a lot of this. You've invested your time. Like, there could be significant changes to what you've already invested in moving forward now. With it's not just one show. It's going to be across the board here.
Those of us who've been Star Wars fans for many, many, many years have lived with our fandom being a canon that was a mess before. People would argue that the current canon is a mess. It's not as much of a mess as the old canon was.
I disagree, but okay.
The old canon had its problems because of literature, not as much as what we're dealing with right now. It's a different kind of mess.
Kennedy lover.
It's a different kind of mess.
You Disney shill.
Hey, look, when you're as invested in the Mandalorians as I was from a very, very young age, your canon, it was a shit show. But yeah, look. Am I gonna lose sleep if the MCU canon gets even more messed up? No. Would I be disappointed? Absolutely. Would I complain? I'm gonna complain anyway. I don't complain nearly as much as other people. Still don't understand why Ahsoka was received as poorly by many fans as it was.
I don't know where you're looking at this stuff, because by a wide variety, it was very well received.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm a Rebels fan, so I definitely count my view as skewed, because I loved it. Capital L O
I
V.
mean, I think a lot of us loved Rebels.
Really enjoyed Ahsoka too, but that's all besides the point.
Me too.
Did I answer your question, Sean? I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but I would be disappointed, and I would certainly complain about it.
Like Ahsoka season 1 is 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's pretty fucking good.
Well, to answer what you just said, I don't know where I'm seeing these things. I guess I'm mostly just seeing people cry on Facebook, which you know.
I hope they're not in parts where we used to be, because their opinion's about as valid as $3 bills.
I don't think I'm in those parts anymore, but you never know because there's a lot of throwaway pages and pages that don't look like they're associated. You just can't always know.
You can't always get what you know. John Boy here says, I saw Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin, answered a tweet about this, saying it might not be as drastic as reported. Well, I did see you linked me to that too. Thanks, John. I would say this: Vincent D'Onofrio shouldn't be saying shit because there's not a deal in place, which means there's probably people not happy that he even answered anything. And my guess is it's more damage control. Often with Disney, it's more damage control, and it's usually as bad as you can think. Think about this: Star Wars Skeleton Crew was done filming before The Acolyte was done filming before Andor Season 2. Andor Season 2 got cut off by the strike. Star Wars Skeleton Crew was supposed to be out this November or December. More than likely December. It is now not going to come out until this time next year, in that October to December range. It's getting backed up an entire year, and projects are moving in front of it. Projects like The Acolyte, Bad Batch Season 3, I believe Tales of the Jedi Season 2. So you have various projects that come out in front of it. And all through filming on Skeleton Crew, the one thing that kept leaking through there is on-set issues galore. Executives could not get out of the way of the project. And there was internal issues between Lucasfilm and Disney. Mind you, Disney's, gets to make the final call at the end of the day, which some people just don't seem to get. So even though it's easy to downplay stuff and say, it's not that serious, and D'Onofrio might be 100% right on this. It might not be that serious, but when you have Deadline and Variety and the Hollywood Reporter and TV Line all saying the same thing, it's probably more to it than that, is my opinion anyway. Tommy, before we get you out of here, because I know you got to be up early. You're a sitcom guy, I think. I think you like watching some fun TV.
I'm actually good. As long as
are you? Okay.
Yeah, as long as we're not going to be on all night.
Well, make no promises. No, highly unlikely. I don't have that long of a span to be able to talk for with how bad my bleh is.
Your itis. You got the itis.
You doodleitis. Once again, 25 years after the fucking show has gone off the air, Jerry Seinfeld has broken the internet this time with teasing a Seinfeld revival. He basically downright says it's happening in the stand-up performance he did in Boston. Seinfeld has been over for, like I said, 25 years. In my opinion, it's the most entertaining. I know there'll be people that say it's not a sitcom, but it does get classified as one. I just think it's the most rewatchable show ever. Whether you like to get high or whether you like to have a drink at night or just relax, with the wife or something, but you don't want to sit through, a 45-minute episode of standard TV or a shorter movie. A 22-minute episode of Seinfeld could fucking get you laughing and in a good mood before bed. And sometimes that's good for everybody. But anyways, Seinfeld revival. Jerry Seinfeld teases that something is going to happen. Are Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David taking a second stab at the ending of Seinfeld? During a recent stand-up set, Seinfeld told his audience that he has a little secret regarding the NBC's classic controversial series ending, and that something is going to happen that has to do with that ending. This is the quote. It hasn't happened yet. And just what you were thinking about, Larry and I have also been thinking about. So you'll see you'll see. So they broke that up. But when you listen to the actual clip, he says, about that ending, it hasn't happened yet. As in, the ending of the Seinfeld show hasn't happened yet. So I worry, though, because I don't know if you guys have seen how the Frasier revival. Oh, John, no, sorry, I'm seeing what John said in the chat there. No, hey, he could be spot on, man. I just find more so in the entertainment world, it's usually doom and gloom, and there's usually a lot of people in denial of that, and it just seems to be where things are going. I don't know, guys. 25 years ago, Seinfeld ended, which is crazy to think about. There has never been a sitcom as big as Seinfeld. 75 million viewers, live viewers during the final episode. They didn't get canceled. They were offered way back in like 99 to do another season, a 10th season for $100 million. $100 million, which was unheard of back then. And they do it. They should have done it anyways, but they didn't do it. Jerry turned it down. Larry David turned it down. They moved on. I do have to ask the question, though, and not to go all political or, PC on anyone, but I got to tell you, I watch a lot of Seinfeld, and I've said it to Jade a bunch. There's a lot of those episodes that I can't see, if similar content being written for live TV nowadays and them not getting yelled at every other week to be canceled. Unless they end up going to like HBO where, you're allowed a little more leniency in that way, and Curb Your Enthusiasm's already over there, which is Larry David's baby. So that could be a natural fit. I think a lot of people, I think NBC would be very upset to not get Seinfeld back. Our buddy Zach threw out Netflix as a possibility. Do you guys think Seinfeld can work, 25 plus years later? Would it still be entertaining? Can they still do it? Any one of you?
So, another series. This is a completely different genre from Seinfeld that recently got a reboot. Is Futurama. Futurama also has some content that, if it was released in the year 2023, would likely not fly very high. The reboot season was not classic Futurama, but it had some real pretty good moments. I had my laughs. I had some good, qualities I really appreciated. A lot of nostalgia member berries. And I was very happy to have had the opportunity to watch a reboot of it. Hope they'll potentially do more down the line. I think when you're dealing with series like this, there is absolutely a way to do it and do it right. I think you also risk getting to the point where you try to course correct to such an extent that the show loses its identity. Now, that's not my way of saying you need to go out of your way and deliver Full House instead of Seinfeld. I don't know. But you just need to moderate. Need to work with a crew of folks, some classic fans. They need to have some folks on the team who are about the project, not just about PR.
Matt, how about you? Do you think Seinfeld can work in, this day and age?
Oh, very much so. I remember talking to you earlier. I mean, those four characters right there, it's absolute chemistry. I mean, you were saying how Michael Richards was on Jason Alexander's short-lived show, and it was just like putting on an old comfortable shoe. I mean, they didn't miss a beat or nothing. So 25 years later, you can get by with more, and then you can't get by with. I mean, you can't get by with as much. It all depends on what it is and how they portray it. And if they portray it in a smart way, then I think they'll be fine. But I mean, they'll probably still get the ratings board after their butts on a weekly basis because of something that Michael Richards said, or Jason Alexander, or who's playing the main character.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, Jerry.
Wow,
I don't know.
That's a brain fart.
Yeah, brain fart alert. I'm tired. Yeah, that could work. I really think NBC Universal is going to pay whatever it has to pay to keep Seinfeld.
Well, that's exactly it. Netflix paid 500. You want to talk about Exorcist rights, which we will dive into as well on the show tonight, but Netflix paid 500 million for the rights to reruns of Seinfeld, not permanently, for 5 years. 500 million. That's $100 million a year for Seinfeld that has been over for 25 years with no guarantee of new content. That's crazy. So yeah, even if it's like if they come back for a 6-part special or an 8-part special or one season, Jerry and Larry are going to get paid through the fucking roof.
Oh God, yes.
Like their rights deal will dwarf whatever rights deal Halloween makes with A24 or Paramount still in the picture. It's certainly sounding more and more like A24 as we go, but like I'm interested in like the logistics of that. I also think creatively it's Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld, and there's only going to be so much you can tell them that they can't do before they just say, fuck it, we're not doing it. So it is absolutely going to be the type of material that offends a lot of people out there, more than likely. But, I like dark humor. I find Seinfeld fucking hilarious. And George Costanza, to me, George and Kramer are two of the best TV characters ever written. Like, I fucking love them. That's why I love Curb Your Enthusiasm, though. It might as well be a George Costanza spinoff. So, really dig it. I think it can work. And I think an example of how not to do things is the Frasier show, where they basically brought back just Frasier, all new environment, and it is just being slaughtered right now. So I haven't seen it. I don't think it's even out publicly yet. But the critics are having a heyday just running it through the grave, or to the grave, pardon me. Let's keep moving on here. I did want to clear one thing up because there was some conflicting information about this the last time we were on. I don't know who had sent it in, but I went and searched it up just to make sure I had it here. The Exorcist, guys, as you might have heard, is not doing well critically, and ultimately it had to do way too good financially in order just to attempt to break even. But the last time we were on, someone said that the deal for the Exorcist trilogy from Universal and David Gordon Green included the production budget, which I was 99% sure was false. And as you can read right here, if I can get this to appear on my screen, Exorcist Believer gets horrifying reviews after studio gambled $400 million for rights. The first film is an ambitious planned horror trilogy. Is being read last rights by critics after Universal shelled out $400 million for the rights alone. The $400 million was simply trying to get rid of that. $400 million was simply for the what's with sites like this? Unreal. $400 million for the rights to do 3 Exorcist movies is just nuts. It's crazy. It's batshit crazy, dare I say. And that was just for the rights. It's not going well, and I do think, when you see how bad that's going, it's easy to really draw the conclusion that, hey, Halloween, more so Trancas, is probably going to lose some money on their rights deal, because you're going to have to be damn sure about making that kind of investment into even Halloween. And I've seen some people fight back against that online, but seriously, I would ask you guys, Matt, you might know the answer to this. How many Halloween movies have passed that so-called blockbuster threshold of $100 million at the box office? How many? There's been 13 movies.
$10. All of them.
Tommy, how about you? Best guess. 13 movies from Halloween. How many of them have passed that $100 million worldwide threshold at the box office?
3.
3 is correct. 3 is the correct answer. And it's the most recent 3. Not Zombies movie. Not Halloween H2O. Not Halloween Resurrection. Definitely not Zombie second movie. None of the later Halloween movies, meaning, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3. So I think there's people that just get so caught up in their Halloween fandom that they forget that this is a movie franchise that doesn't have this vast track record of box office success. Halloween 2018 making $250+ million worldwide was never the plan. They wanted it to do good, but they didn't think it was going to blow up like that. And it did. And then they went back to the table, and they did 2 more movies. So I just think that when it comes to rights, as this blends into the A24 thing here, you got to be careful. And yet there's going to be some studio or some streaming service out there that will pay way more money than someone else just to have the property. Now, we've talked about it on this channel. Other channels have talked about it. I've watched Jimmy Champagne bring it up. I watched Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards bring it up. A24 is only worth like $2.5 billion. So if they're signing a multi-picture deal, and that's right, people, it's not just the TV rights. A24 is apparently making a serious play for the movie rights. A24 is only worth $2.5 billion, the entire company. So let's say that they have to pay, let's go $300 million for 3 Halloween movies, assuming the price has gone down. Not saying it has. That is a massive investment that you better hope you can make a return on. Because if not, a $2.5 billion company losing money on a $300 million investment is catastrophic. Damn near the end of the company if something goes wrong like that. Matt, I want to go over to you first. You've been all about the blockbuster Halloween. Well, it might turn into a blockbuster Halloween at the box office. A24 is not really known for blockbuster releases, and yet there is a word out there today that let me just go through this really quickly here, guys. A24 expands strategy from art house gems to more commercial films. For the past decade, A24 has cultivated an almost cult-like devotion from its fans, thanks to its excellent taste in projects and I'm not even gonna idiosyncrat. I don't know. I can't even. I'm not even gonna fucking try to pronounce that. Memeable movies like The Witch, Uncut Gems, and Midsommar. Their films inspire such interest that features usually come with curated, highly sought-after merchandise drops that fans can purchase via their website. But a new strategy, which includes chasing the rights to the Halloween franchise, could put them in place of that. So basically, what they're talking about here, people, is we're not just talking about TV rights. We're talking about A24 making a big play for movie rights. I did not mean to do that. Whoops. Yeah, we're talking about A24 making a big play for the Halloween movie rights. I don't know. Did Matt seriously fall asleep? He's out. Well, there's a first. We're down to Sean and Tommy. I don't know if I've seen someone actually fall asleep on air. Good thing you're here. So, Tommy, I'll go over to you, man. A24, they did the movie X, which is probably the movie that I didn't mind the most from them. And yet, you could pull up a list of A24 films, dude. And I think most of them you're going to have never heard of before.
I looked it up earlier.
Oh, did you?
I don't know what the hell I'm looking at.
Yeah,
I think I saw toward the bottom a movie called Whale. Like, what the hell is that?
You got Talk to Me, which is out there right now. Yeah, The Whale. I think that was the Brendan Fraser pick. Bodies. X. They don't have a lot of big hits. The Green Knight. They've lost a lot of money on a lot of their movies. I'm a big Halloween fan, like a lot of other people here, and yet at the same time, it's one thing for a studio like Universal to come out there and pay a shit ton of money for Halloween rights. It's another thing altogether for a studio to gamble on going mainstream by spending a significant amount of their capital to go out and acquire the Halloween rights. Like, Tommy, I know you're not a studio head, but doesn't it seem a little bit irresponsible to you to possibly gamble your studio's future away on acquiring the rights to the Halloween franchise? I'm here to give it a chance. I'm someone that didn't like Halloween Ends. But you got to remember, diminishing returns on every single one of those movies. It just went down and down and down. And you're not going now 9 years without seeing Michael Myers. It'll have been, I seen someone in the chat earlier, which, by the way, if you have any thoughts or questions about anything we've talked about tonight, please post them in the chat and we will put it out there. Oh, hey, well, Justin, not used to seeing that name. The Whale won multiple Academy Awards. Yes, it did. Hey, no one is knocking A24 critically for what they do.
I'm just saying I never even heard of the movie. I don't follow the Academy. So that's definitely part of it on my end. You could call it ignorance on my end. It's all good.
Oh, hey, it's a lot of people. I'm right there, man.
I have no desire to follow the Academy.
Yeah, so hey, don't be wrong. I will give them a shot. But boy, you're making a big gamble if you're putting $400 million into the Halloween franchise. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you said it earlier. It's catastrophic if it tanks. If you don't make your money back, you're boned. Your whole studio goes under.
Yeah, it'd be a hell of a gamble, and yet, as of today, there are reports out there from various people and places that say that A24 is in the lead. Bloody Disgusting had a thing today where they said any day now. Was it The Wrap this morning came out with A24 in the lead for the rights too.
But let's say they did acquire the rights and they paid a huge lump sum of money. How long did they have said rights for? How many projects can we expect? In what period of time? All these questions.
Well, I seen someone in the chat earlier say they would expect the next movie for the 50th anniversary. I can tell you, when you look at everything that's out there, if you check out Jimmy Champagne's report from last week, the few things that we've reported that we've had, and it's minimal at best, rumor at best. The extension for the WGA deal, Tommy, is only 3 years. So my guess is they intend to have a movie out within those 3 years, from now to 3 years from now. So I don't think you're waiting till 2028. I think it's coming much sooner than anybody thinks. And
at the latest at that point, it's 2026.
Well, if there's creative already attached to the project as well, it's possible that this thing can't be announced until the SAG strike's over. So, depends who's attached. Remember, this has been going on since last year, so I'll have to wait and see what happens. Thomas R. What a weird series for A24 to acquire. I mean, good for them, but Halloween hasn't exactly been known for being classy, as A24 usually is. Yeah, I could see them doing a more dark, gritty, grounded version of Halloween. I could definitely see something along those lines. But like, that's going to be the big thing, right? Like, cool, you're going to acquire the rights, but I can almost guarantee you when that rights deal comes up, you're going to hear all sorts of things about where it might be going. It's not just going to be we paid X amount of dollars. Look at when the Exorcist rights were announced. Look at when Rian Johnson did his deal with Netflix for the two Knives Out follow-ups. Justin said that Justin's Jay, by the way, for those that don't know, and have been around this channel for a while. He says he met Riker, Darren, and Braden at age 45. I haven't spoken to Riker in 2 years for whatever reason. You'd have to ask him. Darren and I spoke a few months back, and Braden was on here last week. Hopefully everybody had a great time. I know those guys at Slaughtered Lamb put out a really nice walkthrough of the convention. I got to watch it, and I was definitely thankful for that, because God knows I wasn't going to be able to afford to go do that. Yeah, he did say he hopes that there is I did see someone put out video of the panel there, and he hopes there's an announcement before Halloween this year. And that was what kind of makes me go, are we waiting on the SAG strike here? You know, on our next Lambkin Lane episode, which is going to happen next week, actually maybe even Sunday night, we are going to discuss some rumors that we've heard. Matt, before he fell asleep on us, got a little wind of that. So Joel says Halloween's $100 million box office days are over, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think you can sign up for a guaranteed $100 million film for a Halloween film. You know, they're going to make these films on the cheap, which is why I think it'll be, if it is A24, it'll be dark, grounded, gritty. I think it'll make money for sure. But I think we're talking, you know, 60, 70, 80 million dollars at the box office on a $5 million budget with, you know, 20, $25 million marketing, which will still be a win for that company. And if it makes more than that, great, but it's going to have really good word of mouth, because whether people like to hear it or not, for the most part, Halloween Ends was not well received. Tommy, you're someone that just got into Halloween during these last 3 movies. There's a lot of people like you that are just getting into the franchise during those 3 movies. Well, those 3 movies have now ended. Do you have any appetite at all for another Halloween movie, or will it just kind of be like, oh, cool, Halloween's back, good for the channel, but like, you know?
I mean, so like
Didn't really
after our last movie, I'm more interested in like the speculation, the rumors surrounding around like a limited series, something like that, some kind of project in that nature. If there's a movie, I would go check it out. I would check it out, you know, but I'm not saying I'm going to be as hyped about it.
I'm really excited at the possibility of any new Halloween movie. Really, I just want to handle it with care. I do like the idea of having to stay low budget and still having to make it unique and good and have an it factor to it. Um, I just, I got to tell you, I think if A24 is doing a deal for any more than one movie, boy, they are really, putting themselves out there. Pumpkin Man Forever, what's going on, buddy? Hope you're well. Troy says, I think it depends on the actors attached to the project. If it has good word of mouth, it helps. Yeah, well, I think the one thing I can definitely say is if it's an A24 movie, it's probably going to be well acted. They're very go look up most A24 movies on Rotten Tomatoes, and you'll get a sense for how well a lot of their content is received. Heath says his preference would be Paramount to get a deal like Blumhouse had with the Halloween trilogy. They did to see what they can do. Truthfully, the marketing Paramount has done with Scream is good. Yeah, you know what? Speaking about Scream, I showed my oldest guy, who's 15, Scream 6. He's never seen a Scream movie, and I really do think, even though it's the sixth installment in the franchise, it does a good enough job of explaining the other entries that you can watch that movie as a standalone, and he really liked it. And he was not sure about watching it, and he liked it. And I just looked at him. I said, "I told you so. It's pretty good." He didn't like it as much as Halloween, but he liked it. And my preference would be Paramount too on the film side. I'm just saying there's a hell of a lot of smoke the last 48 hours surrounding A24, and it really does seem like A24 might get a deal done or might even have one done as we speak, and just nothing can be announced at this point. You got to remember, Malak went out in front of a bunch of people at age 45 and teased something major. Now that's not concrete proof that anything's happening, frankly, because the Acads have done this before at conventions and then let everybody down and not mentioned anything for years even. I just don't think that's the case this time. I think that we're getting something, and we're getting something soon. And I'm open-minded, Tommy. I'll give it a shot. I do think that if you're paying money for the Halloween rights, though, you're paying money to use Michael Myers. Your thoughts? Would you sign up for a Halloween movie that doesn't feature Michael Myers? Doesn't make much sense to pay for the rights then, in my opinion.
What you just said doesn't make sense to pay for the rights. The day of the one movie that we don't talk about. You and I talk about it a lot. This channel talks about, but people like to say it often doesn't exist. That opportunity came and went for the franchise many, many moons ago. If you're going to do something completely different, just do something completely different. Don't even call it Halloween. Or if you want to call it Halloween, call Halloween with something else in the title so you don't get dinged for the rights, right? Yeah.
Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards had a really good Haddonfield fan-made poster, which I thought looked fantastic. I could see something going with a different name from Halloween, but still alluding to the franchise in general. Thomas says Blumhouse has been hitting pretty solid lately. Maybe not home runs, but they make these cheap little horror films that rake in serious bank. It'd be interesting to see if they ever got Halloween. What? He's got to be trolling. Or maybe he doesn't know, but my guess is he's trolling. Awoken Nightmare. I'm hoping with any new Halloween movie, they continue to use the Shatner mask look from the original film. Hopefully the days of generic-looking Myers masks on the big screen are over. So I don't want a generic mask, but what I want is a slightly different play on the classic Shatner mask. Same similar mold, but with a different, well, not the same mold, but done in the same way, but with a different mold. I want a new mask. I do. I still want it to be the clean white Michael look, but I'm up for a different looking Michael altogether. The cover, a caution worker or construction workers coveralls with the mask. I'd be open to all that. I think we got to be open to some change here, especially if A24 is the ones getting it. I don't want to see a Halloween 5 mask. people go on about Halloween 4. Man, I'll take Halloween 4's mask over Halloween 5 any day. It's all about lighting. Pumpkin Man Forever says he'd be cool with A24 tackling Halloween. Tommy, I am running out of voice here, man, so I think we are going to end this one for this evening. Give me your prediction. Do you think that we're going to get a Halloween rights deal, film or movies, before Halloween 2023?
So what you're basically asking me is, do I think we're going to hear something in the next 3 weeks?
Yeah, 2, really.
Oh, yeah, about just less than 3. I'm going to go with, why the hell not?
Different style mask. That's blasphemy, John. No, I still want it to have a classic looking Michael mask, right? But I don't want to see the same thing again, mold it after someone else's face. It doesn't have to be Shatner's face, but I'm open to something a little bit different. It's time for something a little new, in my opinion. And Jay points out, give us the Kills flashback mask. It was similar but different. Yeah, it wasn't exactly like the mask we seen in the original. There's something a little different about it, but I got to tell you, all signs point towards something official happening prior to Halloween. I will say this: if it has to do with SAG, if they need SAG to finish their strike before Halloween, and it doesn't happen before Halloween, then I truly think that it could be a while before we hear anything. There's marketing reasons to announce it between now and Halloween. Free marketing reasons, really, where if you announce it in December or January, it doesn't have the same, hit to it, if you know what I mean. So I'll have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, if I was putting money on it, this is what I would say. In terms of everything that's out there, I think when you have so much of this, so many people pointing the same way, there's probably something to it. And I'm going to say, despite, my better judgment, it sounds like A24 is going to end up with the Halloween rights. Whether it's TV or film, we'll see. There seems to be a lot of steam behind the film thing now, which is crazy to think a studio like that banking their future on this franchise, but it could happen. For Tommy B and was Snow White the one that was asleep that had to be woken up, or was it someone else that had to be woken up? Forget my Disney stories.
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, for Tommy B and Sleeping Beauty, who literally is just raising his head. He's been asleep for half the episode. For don't worry. Actually, yeah, you might have to worry. Everybody's seen you fall asleep. It's happened randomly. Matt's coming back to the daylight in our green room here slowly. Poor guy needs to go to bed. But yeah, I'm predicting Halloween to A24, which is not much of a prediction at this point in time. But my hope is Paramount steps up and gets something done. Paramount has a lot of their eggs invested in the Scream basket right now, so I can see why that might be an issue, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll be back, though. I'm not sure when. As you can probably tell, I'm still not back to my normal self, but getting there. For Tommy B, Matt, Dean in the chat, Justin says 1 sec. Been longer than a second, man, and I'm losing my voice. What's up? Troy Grubb says, guess time will tell. Hope if A24 gets the rights, they make a good Halloween movies. Well, we've gotten Halloween 5, Halloween Resurrection, Zombies 2 movies, and Halloween Ends. Yeah. I think there's a lot of bad Halloween movies. Justin says, so off camera at the invention, John was asked about future products that continue to have involvement with Halloween. And he said, yes, just wait. Yeah, you know what? Before I came on air, I actually speculated with Dean Renner about this. I said, one of the big things they could do is, don't forget John Carpenter just is getting ready to make his return to directing. They could get a lot of people on board if they brought back John Carpenter to direct the new Halloween movie for A24. I wouldn't do it. I don't think he's the right guy for the job. But if he wants to keep, being involved as a producer or keep scoring them, be my guest. I'll sign up for that. I just think there are better creators that can tackle this franchise at this point in time. That being said, whether it's good or not, John Carpenter will put asses in the seats. Make no doubt about that. Anyways, for Tommy, Dean, everybody else in the chat, we'll have to see what happens. Stay tuned to the news. Halloween, A24 might be a match made in hell. We'll see. Have a great night. Haha, got you. We're not gone yet. No, I forgot a couple of very important things. Big shout out to sponsor this channel that make this happen. Without them, it'd be really hard to come back and do everything we do. Colic Nation, Ryan, appreciate it, man. Storytime Spectacular, Jesse, love you, buddy. And Backtrack Cinema, Jason Knight, check him out. Just hit 600 subscribers again on his new channel. Good guy. Appreciate everything you guys do. It means a ton. And then to our patrons as well. Without you guys, not sure where we would be. But yeah, Halloween, rights deal, A24. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it sounds like it might happen. We'll see. Could it really be as bad as Trick or Treat, motherfucker? An inside look at Dean Renner's reaction to A24 securing the Halloween rights.